The moment Meghan Markle allegedly started knocking on the doors of the world's most powerful fashion houses, something unexpected happened. Those doors didn't swing open. According to critics, insiders, and industry whispers, they slowly started closing. And that's exactly where this controversy begins. Because for someone constantly photographed in designer outfits, constantly discussed as a style icon, and constantly linked to luxury brands, there is one uncomfortable question hiding beneath the glossy headlines. Why do so many major fashion houses reportedly seem reluctant to embrace Meghan Markle? Is it really about fashion, or is something much bigger happening behind the scenes? If there's one thing luxury fashion values above everything else, it's image. Not talent, not popularity, not even fame. Image. The kind of image that takes decades to build and seconds to destroy. And according to fashion expert Georgina Ramazadi, that's where Meghan's problems may begin. Luxury giants like Dior, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Valentino don't just sell clothing. They sell exclusivity, prestige, and carefully protected reputations. Every celebrity they associate with becomes part of that story. Every ambassador becomes a reflection of the brand itself. And when controversy follows someone everywhere they go, fashion executives reportedly start calculating risks instead of opportunities. Suddenly, every headline becomes a potential liability. Every partnership becomes a gamble. What makes this even more fascinating is the rumor that some luxury brands allegedly became frustrated by requests for free clothing. Not collaborations, not campaigns, free clothing loans. According to reports discussed within fashion circles, Meghan's representatives allegedly approached major houses seeking access to designer pieces. But insiders claim many brands weren't interested in becoming part of what some perceived as an image rebuilding campaign. The reaction reportedly wasn't excitement, it was hesitation.
How tacky that is to even ask. There have been celebrities that have asked, for sure. A lot of times we would say, in the past, we would say, this is an original sample. It's one of a kind. We're happy to send you when it is out in the world. We'll gift it to you. I've seen this all, and the reality is she's not important enough for any designer to be like, here, take my original samples.
And that's where the whispers started becoming louder, because fashion is a world built on status signals. Every invitation matters. Every borrowed gown matters. Every front row seat matters. When designers allegedly began questioning whether Meghan brought enough value to justify special treatment, the situation reportedly became uncomfortable. Some insiders even claimed an unflattering nickname began circulating behind closed doors. Whether true or exaggerated, the damage was already done, because in fashion, perception often becomes reality long before facts ever catch up. Then came the reported clash involving one of the most powerful women in media, Anna Wintour, the gatekeeper of fashion, the woman whose approval can elevate careers overnight. Reports suggested Meghan was expected to appear on the cover of British Vogue in 2022. On paper, it looked like a perfect match, yet somehow the cover reportedly never materialized. Why? According to rumors, disagreements emerged regarding editorial control. Allegedly, Meghan's team wanted influence over aspects of the feature that Vogue wasn't willing to surrender. If true, this wasn't just a disagreement. It was a collision between two powerful brands fighting over who controlled the narrative.
But just quickly, Meghan Markle, apparently her attempt to get on the cover of Vogue has failed due to her long list of demands.
And that raises a larger question. How much control is too much control? Magazine editors are accustomed to difficult celebrities, but fashion insiders reportedly viewed this situation differently. If one of the most influential publications in the world allegedly wasn't willing to meet those demands, what message did that send throughout the industry? Suddenly, the issue wasn't a single magazine cover. It became a reputation. Then came Dior, the name that repeatedly appears whenever discussions about Meghan and luxury fashion surface. After Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal duties, rumors exploded suggesting Dior might establish a major partnership with the Sussexes. The headlines spread quickly. Millions discussed it. Social media erupted. Then Dior did something unexpected. It denied the reports completely.
Dior says this is not true. They have no idea where this came from. And as I told you and your producers...
I bet it came from Meghan's team. I bet you anything it came from Meghan's team. Come on.
That That denial created another wave of speculation. Why would Dior rush to distance itself if the rumors weren't serious? Why was the company reportedly so eager to clarify its position? Questions multiplied. The mystery deepened. Meanwhile, attention shifted elsewhere. Other royal figures continued attracting luxury partnerships while Meghan remained surrounded by rumors but lacking confirmations. And in fashion, silence often speaks louder than announcements. The pattern became harder to ignore. Every few months, another story emerged suggesting Meghan was trying to strengthen her position within elite fashion circles. Yet somehow, the expected breakthroughs never seemed to happen. Then came reports surrounding Paris Fashion Week. According to claims discussed publicly, Meghan allegedly reached out expressing interest in attending a major fashion show rather than receiving a direct invitation. To many observers, that detail seemed small, but in fashion, small details can be explosive. Because invitations are status symbols. They communicate who belongs and who doesn't. If a celebrity reportedly needs to request attendance rather than being courted by designers, critics argue it reveals a shifting power dynamic. And perhaps that's the biggest mystery of all. Meghan Markle remains one of the most recognizable women on earth. She generates headlines effortlessly. She dominates conversations. She attracts attention wherever she goes. Yet despite all that visibility, major luxury brands continue appearing cautious. Some point to controversy, others point to reputation management, others believe it's about consistency, trust, and long-term stability. But whatever the reason may be, the pattern keeps resurfacing. Doors that many expected to open remain stubbornly closed. Partnerships that seemed inevitable never fully materialize. And every unanswered question creates another layer of intrigue. Because if fashion truly loves attention, why does it allegedly keep its distance from one of the most talked about women in the world? What made the situation even more awkward was that the problems didn't stop with luxury brands. They allegedly followed Meghan into her own business ventures. When American Riviera Orchard was rebranded as Ever, what should have been a triumphant relaunch reportedly turned into another headache. Trademark issues suddenly emerged. Questions appeared. Legal complications surfaced. For critics, it looked like a shocking contradiction. The woman often associated with fashion and branding was now reportedly facing the same kind of intellectual property obstacle that major fashion houses spend years trying to avoid. And the timing couldn't have been worse. Because luxury brands are obsessed with precision. Every name is checked. Every trademark is protected. Every risk is minimized. Yet suddenly, Meghan's own brand appeared trapped in exactly the type of dispute that corporate executives dread. To some observers, it reinforced an image of chaos rather than control. The pattern became even more noticeable when discussions emerged regarding magazine features and editorial influence. Reports surrounding a Harper's Bazaar profile generated fresh controversy. Critics claimed the article felt unusually managed and carefully orchestrated. Stories circulated that Meghan allegedly preferred formal introductions even in small private settings. Whether exaggerated or not, these stories traveled quickly through fashion and media circles. And once a narrative begins spreading inside elite industries, it becomes incredibly difficult to stop. Fashion executives don't just evaluate sales figures. They evaluate relationships. They assess reputations. They monitor whispers. Sometimes the perception of difficulty becomes more damaging than actual difficulty itself. Then there was the comparison nobody could avoid. Catherine, again and again, industry observers pointed toward the Princess of Wales as the gold standard of royal influence in fashion. The contrast became impossible to ignore. Catherine's appearances regularly triggered instant sellouts. A coat she wore disappeared from stores. A pair of earrings suddenly became global news. Designers didn't need elaborate campaigns. They didn't need public relations rescue missions. They simply needed Catherine to appear. The publicity followed automatically. More importantly, the coverage remained overwhelmingly positive. No controversy, no backlash, no endless debates, just attention and admiration. From a business perspective, that simplicity is priceless. And every time Catherine generated another fashion success story, critics argued the gap between the two women appeared to widen. But perhaps one of the most damaging stories involved the unwritten rules of fashion itself. Luxury brands frequently loan expensive gowns, jewelry, and accessories to celebrities. The arrangement is simple. Wear the item. return the item, protect the relationship. Yet over the years, rumors circulated suggesting Meghan occasionally held onto borrowed pieces longer than expected. One particular green dress became the center of endless speculation after observers claimed it resurfaced in another appearance. Whether the stories were accurate or exaggerated almost became irrelevant. The damage came from the conversation itself, because trust is the currency of luxury fashion. Once trust becomes a topic of discussion, executives begin asking uncomfortable questions. And when millions of dollars are involved, even uncertainty can become a deal breaker. The deeper observers looked, the more one theme kept appearing: controversy. Not one controversy, a pattern of controversies. Fashion houses spend decades carefully constructing an image. Every campaign is planned. Every partnership is evaluated. Every ambassador is chosen with extreme caution. Then along comes someone who generates headlines almost daily. Some headlines positive, others explosive. Some supportive, others deeply divisive. For a fashion executive staring at spreadsheets and reputation reports, the calculation becomes brutally simple. Is the attention worth the risk? Because attention alone isn't enough. Luxury brands want profitable attention, predictable attention, controlled attention, and controversy is the exact opposite of control. Then came another warning sign for corporate decision makers. Meghan's high-profile commercial partnerships appeared increasingly unstable. Spotify ended. Questions emerged about Netflix. New ventures launched only to face fresh scrutiny. For companies searching for long-term ambassadors, consistency matters. They want relationships lasting years, not months. They want reliability, predictability, stability, yet critics argued Meghan's public image had undergone so many transformations that brands no longer knew which version they were investing in. Actress, Duchess, activist, podcaster, entrepreneur, lifestyle influencer. The constant reinvention fascinated the public but reportedly worried corporate strategists. And perhaps that's where the real story hides. Not in one rejection, not in one failed partnership, not in one controversy, but in the accumulation of all of them. Fashion is built on relationships, trust, reputation, and confidence. The moment uncertainty enters the equation, luxury brands become cautious, extremely cautious. Whether every rumor is true or false almost doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that the rumors exist. What matters is that questions continue to follow Meghan wherever she goes. What matters is that major fashion houses repeatedly appear reluctant to fully embrace her despite her global fame. And that leaves one final mystery hanging in the air. Are luxury brands rejecting Meghan Markle because of who she is today or because of who they fear she might become tomorrow? The answer may explain far more than the fashion industry is willing to admit.